morning, the listeners and the press team. My name is Zamaham Zamel. I am the chairman of Aringa Arua Community Association. This is an association which is started early 1996 by our forefathers who preached issues of unity among Aringa community and even coexistence between Aringa community and the other communities within Arua city. And with the grace of Almighty God, I was recently elected as the new chairman of this association to take the lead in advocating about the unity of our community, about the discipline of our community, and also about a positive change in the lives of our community members. And this association has always been having meetings of members, the executive, the general joint council. The executive members are around 11. Our joint council, we have 21 members. We are now expanding it. We also have youth council. We also have women's council. And all these ones will form what is called the joint council of the community. We always emphasize about staying in harmony, and we want to regulate the behaviors of our children in Arua city. You remember, city being a cosmopolitan entity or city, there are so many different tribes within the city. And the responsibilities of making sure that the youth in this city should stay in harmony with other tribes rest on the leadership of Aaca, especially the one from the community. So, recently, we had our meeting, Elders Council, Joint Elders Council, where we were emphasizing and discussing issues in relation to the political situation currently. Because we realized recently in the past elections of the primaries, so many people got injuries in terms of, people, violence, related issues, abusive languages, issues of indiscipline, issues of even temptations of vote bribery. These things happen. And some of these allegations, some of the youth in the community of Aringa, also their images featured. And in the wisdom of the elders of Aringa Arua community, they summoned the executive. The Elders Council summoned the executives to put some questions that you, the leaders, you are there. Now ABCDs have been happening. What measures have you taken to make sure that we address some of these challenges? We also responded because, when you are in the leadership, especially in the executive, you are subject to the General Assembly, meaning that we are not above the General Assembly. We are accountable to the General Assembly. So the members of the General Assembly are the ordinary people, are the elders, and so on. So when they have such a question, we must respond. We came, we responded. They now demanded for a meeting. And in that meeting, we thought it wisely, since it is a political related questions, we needed to call specific candidates within our community to address some of these challenges. We also expect our the candidates who came from our community to have a conscious discipline. They should leave issues of violence, intimidations, threats, and so on. Now, we segmented these meetings. We said we are going to have more than 3-4 series of meetings. The first phase of the meeting, we start with our candidate for the MP. We shall also go for mayor, then we go for lower mayorship, councillors, and so on. We cannot bring these things once because, you know, people have different interests. You realize at times in one community, in one position, more than 2-3 people can stand. But where you realize it can cause commotion and issues of maybe internal fights, you will summon these people. You will put your positions very clear. Look, in terms of competence, in terms of experience, you are below or above so and so. Therefore, you sit down. Let's leave this position for this other person. So this responsibility internal sits on the leadership of Aaca, together with the Elders Council. So that's why we thought it wise and we said, no, let's now call a joint council. Elders should come and speak on behalf of the members who are outside there. Because, you know, as the Aringa community, we highly respect our elders a lot. Much as we're in the leadership as executives, we pay allegiance to the Elders Council. We respect them, we respect their opinion, we always, you know, give them the first priority, the first listening ears, and so on. Therefore, on Sunday, we summoned our meeting to have a discussion on the candidature specifically for Haddad Salim. Why? Because he had expressed interest, he wanted to meet the leadership of Aaca. Now we told him, much as you are going to meet us, the Elders Council is paramount. These are people, if they tell you, please don't, we don't have any word. We always rally our support behind them because the elders are really very important in the community. We respect them. So we as a chairman of Aaca, we make a formal invitation because it was not in ill intention, it was in good faith. We couldn't hide it. We made sure that we wrote an invitation, we issued it to the specific elders who are members of the Elders Council of Aringa community. Then we summoned the executive of Aaca. Then we summoned the candidate who expressed interest in a specific position, like the position of MP. We wanted him to express his candidature in front of the leadership of Aaca and the Elders Council, so that people can discuss the candidature. If they said, okay, we support him based on the quality he has, we can vet him and allow him to stand. But if we vet him, we realize he has some gaps, we shall send him back to go and to first go and rectify this. Maybe will come later, maybe in 2031. Now, as we were proceeding with this meeting, he had already presented his manifesto, his campaign plan, and also his intellectual ability or capability to the audience. So very many people picked interest because this is a person who is a professional lawyer, who is also a lecturer in a university, who is a PhD student. At his level, we don't think there are common people, so many people who can match his quality within our community. Internal here, we realized he was fit for that position. Now, and based on these qualities, he was also being duly nominated by National General Electoral Commission to go and look for, to do his consultations and eventually also do his campaigns. Now, a person who is duly nominated, you will have a minimal, say to either stop him because he's already been nominated. Now, also as being a son of the community, where he seeks to vet himself, people looked at his competence and so on, made some comparison. The elders talked, and later they endorsed him to stand. As the meeting was going towards the closer, we were encountered with a very shameful situation where a set of the policemen, about 10 of them, with their command around 11 people, they came and blocked the road using their pickup, and then jumped off the vehicle and started surrounding the conference hall where we had the meeting. The only word they said was, "We have come to pick you, all you people go to police." That the NUP meeting is going on here. That they said the association called Aaca has gathered a meeting to discuss a NUP agenda, how the NUP can win elections here. We got surprised. We said, now, who is NUP? We are here. Among us here, who is a NUP candidate or a NUP supporter or a NUP mobilizer? Because they found one of our elder was a former chairman NRM of the Central Division, Muze Tibo, Mahamudu Tibo. He was there. Then Ahmed Olekwa, the proprietor of that big building down there, he was also there. The father to Sida, the father of the assistant town clerk, was also there in that meeting. The former head teacher of Umbachi Senior Secondary School, Durga Gassin, was also in the meeting. And so serious, prominent people within the community were in that meeting. We said, okay, we need a formal summon, we shall come. They said the DPC, the RCC are waiting for us. I told them I will not go there. If there is no summon, because I want to know who is that specific person summoning us. These things of RCC, DPC, what? It sounds in chorus. We need a specific person who has a specific agenda against this sitting so that we can appear. We are not, intellectual dwarfs. We know what we are doing. Legally, we are well informed. We know our mandate. We also know. So, when they realize the thing, by the way, some youths also saw that thing. People started coming in big numbers. Even they want to confront them. We said, no, you leave it. We shall handle this issue in harmony. We are not people of violence. We want them to understand that what they are doing is very legal. Yeah, because the person who has come to consult the community of Aringa is a person who is duly nominated, and it is not only him. There are other people who have ever consulted us, people like Alonji Lawrence and so on. We had declared Alonji Lawrence, we endorsed him as the candidate fit for the position of Lord Mayorship of this city. We gave him votes overwhelming. There was no complaint. No one complained when Aringa community endorsed Alonji Lawrence as our mayoral position candidate. Now, why is it specific? Haddad Salim, and it has sparked issues of being that he is a NUP, what, and yet this person stood independently. An independent candidate is a neutral person. You cannot know that he's NRM, is what? No. But he is an independent candidate. He will elaborate more on that because he knows his position as a person. Now, as a community chair, I want to tell the other community members, we don't preach hate in this city. It was us in 2021 who accepted and owned Jackson and endorsed him in that position. We overwhelmingly voted him against even the same Haddad here. Eh? Even underground, some people said he won. I don't want to be caught in a very funny whatever, but some people are saying he won. I cannot know the whatever. But Jackson won because of us and even our community. I was personal who put that effort. Because in the primary, I sat with him, we agreed that the votes should be given to him. We gave votes to him, then later the votes were given to me for primaries. But in final, we also agreed we give votes to him. We gave, after that he disappeared. In my election, he was not there. We didn't take it bad because people have different political plans. But what we know is Aringa community is one of the best communities in this city who do not preach segregation, nepotism, tribalism. We are always looking at the person who is fit for the position. That's why they started voting for Ajeni, who was a Marasha. They vote for Aredu, who was a Vura. They vote for Abiriga, who was a Madi. They vote for Jackson, who is a Maracha. They vote for Kasiano Wadi, who is a Teregian or Terego. Eh? We still even have, we pronounce ourselves for Lawrence Alonji, who is an Aivu. It was not an offense. No one confronted the leadership of Aaca. No one complained. Now, it has already given us some, some internal questions. Hey, what's happening? When we are trying to give our votes to other communities peacefully, no one complains. And it goes like that, and the people who successfully went, they don't even come and thank officials for us, and we don't even demand for any thanks from them. But what we know is these are our leaders. It can come, it goes, but this time, the person who stood as an independent is a son of Aringa community, whom some few members or other members of Aringa community thought it was bad. There are also some members within the Aringa community, they feel it is bad. That is also a positive thinking. We can't say it is bad. Because, political position and the decision to elect rests on each voter. We cannot dictate. Those ones, we don't see them bad. We do not even summon them to quarrel with them. That is their opinion. The majority who thought he is fit, that is also their opinion. We also said it is okay, we accepted. This is the candidate fit for that position. In terms of intellectual ability, the current person who sent the police cannot match him. Because this is a PhD student, he's a lawyer. He's a competent lawyer even. Not just other lawyers, but a competent lawyer. People know. And people know his ability because in 2021, the votes he collected, only that, even me, that time I disagreed because I'm an NRM Stones Kada, a supporter, even a funder, because some of us supported some NRM candidates, we even give support financial. You know, when you go for mobilization, if you want to call people here, you must rent tents and so on. We have ever done that to some candidates. Now, during his time when he contested in Nupu ticket, I was not in his camp. I was not, because that was not my favorite whatever. But again, the question is the credibility of the previous election of NRM in Arua Central Division. It is in the minds of people, so many things happened which were not harmonized. Machiazi, some people went for tribunal and so on. Now, the credibility of the tribunal, some people still have doubts. Now, the outcome of that election has caused a lot of things. That's why you see there are so many independent candidates, there are other oppositions, there are other what and so on. You match the current candidate of the flag bearer of the NRM in the Central Division with the candidature of late Abiriga. Tell me, where are those supporters of late Abiriga? who supported the NRM. We want to discuss some of these things very logically. We don't want to just rush with them. We don't want someone to just come and, you put mud on so and so, just for self-interest. We want to discuss these issues logically and legally, so that in the near future, when NRM is fronting a candidate, he must front a candidate that can really attract even the oppositions into NRM. You get? We don't want imposition of a candidate. And me, as the chairman of Aringa community, I don't fear to pronounce myself in the candidatures of the people, because when I lead a very big number of the community, where we are about 60,000 in this central division, even more, I cannot shy down to pronounce myself. We need to give a strategic direction to the leaders. All Aringa communities are behind the president. Whether even if the president had come for campaigns or not, Aringa community will give votes for the president. That's why you see always in Yumbe, he gives 90% and above. That's how the people from Yumbe give votes for the president. And we are the remnants or the residue of the people from Yumbe. We came from there. A few of us are here, but we have our homes there. So there is that linkage. We don't want to betray the NRM government. We don't want to betray the president, because from UNRF 1, our people, with the leadership of Al Moses, signed the memorandum of understanding with the current president to work together. And our forefathers were then the armies of that organization. When they signed the peace agreement and memorandum of understanding, eventually our people defected it to the current government leadership. That is the leadership of the president of Uganda. That's His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. In UNRF 2 agenda, where General Ali Bamuze was the chairman and the leader of that team, our people, our fathers, were the army officers, were the soldiers of that organization. They signed a peace agreement in Yumbe, where the international community came and saw that officially these people are now together with the government. We respected our leaders, we respected our fathers, we respected those leaders who signed the memorandum with the president. We pay all allegiance to the current government. That's why we are saying, you see people from Yumbe where are behind the NRM regardless of what. Whether their problems have been solved, whether or not, they know this was the directives from our forefathers, late General Ali Bamuze. We respected them. So, no one is coming to tell the Aringa community that, look, you vote for NRM. We are already in NRM. We are there. But when you identify for us a wrong candidature, we shall tell you we don't want this candidate. It's not an offense. How does it become an offense? Let the person bring the law. How does this one become an offense? If he said, my community has endorsed Haddad and others are also rallying behind other candidates, how does this one specifically become an offense? You want to understand that. You get? That's where the question is. Actually, that's when we realize that now something is happening wrong. We questioned the commander who came there. He told us it is the current flag bearer, the MP, who communicated and communicated to the security. It was very open. I got even ashamed. They said, now what kind of a person is it? Does this person need votes from Aringa community? You send the police to embarrass the elders of Aringa community, to arrest the elders of Aringa community. I told them I'm going to mobilize 2,000 people to come and meet those people there the next day. Very open. I was being very open. Because the few representatives, the 19 people who were in that meeting, actually we were 21. 2 people had some family-related issues. They didn't finish the meeting, they went for it. But those 19 people represents the bigger portion who is outside there. And people are calling me day and night. They told me, stand your position. We are behind you. We don't want this kind of intimidations. We are giving our vote for the president, but Aringa community as a candidate, they have presented to the bigger, bigger communities out there. It is based on merit, not so tribal. It is as exactly as they had endorsed the Atima in 2021 to be voted, and they voted for him, he won. It is exactly how they endorsed the late Abiriga. That's how he won. It was also as exactly as they endorsed the Kasiano Wadri. It is based on the quality. You get? That time they endorsed him, what he won. They even left their own doubter who was Nusrat Peru. During that time, Nusrat Peru won a flag. Now, people said, no, let's rally behind the flag. The same candidate who is currently the MP went for independent against Nusra, who was a flag bearer. By then, was he not an NRM cadre? Let people have a wisdom to reason. I saw the discussion going on the media. I did not open up, but I have seen people being so parochial, people's low-minded thinking. You know, I want to tell you, if you are from here, you go and stand in the central there, in Kampala. You will meet people who will say that you want to be in that position. You will meet. So, for us, we are the most generous community in this city. Even some communities, to the extent they even insult us. Saying, how can you give votes to so and so when you have people whom you could give votes? Because we don't observe issues of tribal sentiments and so on. We focus on the integrity, the reputation, the capability, the qualification of that individual, the candidate specifically, who comes to approach us. So, if he was not competent enough, we would also deny him that. Because others have come, whom we did not disclose to the community, to the public domain. We told them, no, you are not fit for this position. Within the Aringa community, there are those ones who we refused. We chose the one who is not even Aringa over our own. Because leadership is not about tribal what, no. It's about competence. Who is competent to lead people? So we pronounce ourselves. This one, we don't hide it. It's not an offense. Those who call the center, Kampala, you call. You can make those calls. But you will not survive what we have discussed. I'm telling the truth. We have stood our stand. We're giving our votes for the Lord Mayorship to Alonji Lawrence. We're giving our votes for the Central Division to Haddad Salim. That is our position. They have influenced few members who are very selfish from Aringa community with small tokens of money to come and talk to us, to call us, to write on the media what. We have capacity to use the media, but we don't. We do things genuinely. You saw what was going on in the media. I didn't write anything. We did not talk anything. But today, we are giving you what has been transpired internal there within our city. Because it was not a badly intended meeting. That's why we can speak and we discuss it openly. So, I want to call upon all the communities, different communities within the city, that we should not mislead ourselves. Recently, we had some communities call 4 candidates to try to harmonize who can stand. We heard about it. Even they told us, but they disagreed. Why didn't that one become a tribal issue? We knew they called 4 candidates to come and, to negotiate, to bring one candidate. The candidates disagreed there. We never wrote anything bad, or we never see it bad, because we knew there is always a family, there is a clan, There is a tribe and there is a nation, there is a region. Currently, West Nile is advocating for a regional status. Is there anyone who can say this is a bit tribal? There's always a common agenda of a specific group. It will be there. But it doesn't mean that these people are not part of the bigger community. That's why we give votes to anyone who comes. If he is competent, we give. Now this is just one out of over how many? After how many years? Just saying that, okay, elders council of Aringa community has endorsed the Haddad, doesn't mean that Haddad is being voted the MP. That is endorsement. There are very many people who have endorsed the candidates.
Well, Mr. Zamaham, as
you
come to the conclusion, there's also on social media, there's also that allegation that you as the session leader, you were given 3 million shillings to back and that in regards to that. So can you say something in relation to that?
Okay. Why didn't that person who saw the money and said that you don't give this money to him if he was there? Because you saw it, but you are very quiet. You went somewhere and said that Ham was given 3 million. So did Haddad Salimu bring you as a witness to sign the 3 million? It sounds very funny. And I always tell people, there are different classes of people. In life, there are around 5 classes of people. Actually, there are the stages in life. There are 5. We have a crisis stage. We have financial instability stage. We have stability stage. We have independent stage. We have now freedom. These lines explains the status of people. So, when something happens, you as an individual, you assess the situation. Does it involve with a person who is on a crisis, financial crisis? Does it caught up with a person who is on a stage of financial instability or financial stability, whether financial freedom, financial independence? So, people mix things. I am not, even if I was not a salary earner, I am capable of getting 10 million every month. I have businesses in town. Not 1, not 2, at least businesses I have. So I cannot support a person because the person is going to give me money. If it was because of that, I would have supported the NRM person where we see the money is going to come. Because there is a specific money that is given for the candidates who are flag bearers. I would go for that. I don't run after those funny, small things.
Maybe as you said earlier on, the association Aringa, Arua association, endorsed the incumbent MP last time in 2021.
Yes.
And indeed you backed him and went through.
Yes.
Somebody would now ask, why haven't you supported him this time around? Did he meet some other issues, promises, or what? What is the issue now?
The nature of his campaign is so misleading. He's using youth even to fight. And I can prove this one with the evidences. It doesn't cause a lot of harmony among the community. You know, dishing out money doesn't mean that you are competent in leadership. They don't buy leadership. They don't buy leadership. They earn leadership. Political leadership is earned depending on your performance. And the performance in leadership is not dishing out money. Never. That's why our people are still, they are still very mean in understanding certain things. Leadership is earned based on your reputation, performance, and so on. Leadership is not imposed. Leadership is not bought. You get? So I have my eyes can see. I have my brain to think, to reason. I have eyes to see. I have a vision of likely how this leadership can take us. So I disagreed with such a kind of a leadership. I don't disagree with him as a person. If he calls me for a meeting, I I will sit with him and discuss. But the method of the work is what I disagreed about. You get? You can't save a money where you could put a project where you employ people, you bring 400,000 or 40 million, 80 million or 10 million and you take it to the church, you think that you are empowering people. It is not. Me as a ham, it is not. You bring a project, you employ 20 people is far much better than giving 40 million to build a church, to build a mosque. You get? You put a project where the church can earn money to pay the people who work for the church. You get? There, we can match with you. So, a few people understood what I explained. It needed time, and I would have explained better, because if there is enough time. So, we expected people to give jobs for the youth. You spend 200 million dishing it out to the people. Why don't you acquire 500 hectares of land, you put a farm, you employ people to work in the farm. Then people earn for the rest of their life, even if you lose the position you have. You get?
Now, on the mayorship, you said the session back to Alionji, and then MPship is at that. What about the division?
Division mayor. Why we have not finalized the division mayor? That's why I told you we agreed to sit on its phases, on a phased manner, because internal within Aringa community there are two people in the mayorship. There's also other. We don't want to impose. We want to give elders benefit of doubt, because there is also a person who is not within our community. People said he is also competent. So the parameters used to vet these people is still going on. We are still doing the vetting. And at an appropriate time, we shall also pronounce ourselves. You get that?
Well, maybe lastly from me.
But for the case of Adad, he was alone. There is no reason to say that Adad, you sit down. There is also another, maybe your colleague here. We should first vet two of you. Only that he was matched with the other candidates. We looked at his competence and the qualifications and so on. We said now, with his manifesto, it attracted our attention and said that this one can be. Council of Elders vetted him, said, let's rally behind him. Yes.
Maybe lastly, in 1 minute time, when I covered the election of Aringa community 1 year ago,
yes,
I interviewed both of you, and you were able to tell me that this association is not political. And one will wonder, how come now this time it is taking political direction?
Thank you. You know, it is all about interpretation. By nature and the setup of even a church or a mosque, they said it is non-political. But the people who are doing politics outside there come and pray inside the mosque, inside the church. You realize even an imam of a mosque stands somewhere outside, not inside the mosque, and say that we give votes to so and so. You give me the interpretation of saying that a church and a mosque is non-political. When a member of a church and a member of a mosque is seen campaigning and also going to vote, it depends on how you interpret it. Saying the organization is non-political is that this is not an association to form party, to promote a specific party. You get? So the members of the association themselves can be a voter, can be voted in a position, can even campaign. But we did not form the association to generate leaders or to dominate leadership of the city, but to protect, defend the interests of the association. And one of the interests of the association is unity of the association members. Now, if the members of the association saw it fit to get a candidate and we front it on a fair ground to campaign, to lead, I don't think it is an offense. Yeah, that's our position.
Okay, it's fine. So, Mr. Adad, we are coming to you.
Thank you.
You are,
That will cause problems to Aaca. Labeling it to
your name came into the whole fracas last Sunday. So we want to get a statement from you in regards to that. How come?
Thank you very much. Good morning, listeners. My name is Haddad Salim. I am contesting in the Central Division as a Member of Parliament on an independent ticket. I saw the hula baloo, the higgy haggard. I was just smiling and laughing. Before I visited the Aringa Arua community, I visited the Aluru community. I spoke to them. They endorsed me. I visited the Ivu community. I spoke to them. They endorsed me. I visited the Nubi community. They endorsed me. The Congolese originating from Congo, I also visited them. They also endorsed me. Now coming to Aaca, actually Aaca is the 5th association. Now these are the cultural ones. I have also visited circles and been members of these circles, right from Chongaloya village. Their circles are visited. They have also endorsed me. There are women circles in Otakuta have visited. They have endorsed me. You know, so the gist of these consultations with these various cultural and associations. By the way, I have a meeting with the Madi community. I'm also going to visit them. I'm also going to go to the Terego community. You know, I'm also going to visit. So all these communities, we are going to go to them. But why are we visiting them? I think should be what people must always ask. I want to ask for forgiveness, because it is said that like nose, everyone has an opinion. I want to say most of those people who are writing stuff the way they feel, it is their opinion. But it is also good that your opinion must be followed by good intentions. When an opinion is ill-intended, malified, then that is not the right way for us in Central Division. Now, I want to share with you people our intentions of visiting this. I want to assume all those who wrote and those probably who are going to write understand the provisions of Article 79. Now, for a member of parliament to effectively represent his people, he must be able to understand the peculiar or unique interests of each group existing in his constituencies. That's why we had to meet the Aluru, we had to meet the Nubi, we had to meet the Ivu, we had to meet the Congolese. Now we're meeting border borders, we are going to meet this, we are going to meet that. We get and consolidate these interests to form one. Because part of our information, part of our message in these consultations is the aspect of unity. No man is an island. That one we know very well. You know, no man is an island. We need that idea of the Ivu. We need that idea of the Terego. We need that idea of the Aringa, man. We need the idea that we have to consolidate to come up with a very clear aspect. So, I find it interesting that when I visited the Madi the Aluru community, nobody complained. I went to meet the Ivu community, nobody complained. I met the circles, nobody complained. Now I'm meeting the Aringa. And then there is a whole lot of hysteria everywhere. And I think it is high time we start asking the why question. And I am, the reason I did not even write anything and I was laughing is, I have realized thinking is very hard. So people resort to judge. Oh, it is now tribal. Oh, so and so is tribal. I want to assure Central Division, our manifesto and our intentions for Central Division are non-tribal. We are looking at inclusive development for youth, women, all categories of people. that we know very, very well. So please, before we go into judgment, being judgmental, let us always ask the question why. It will help us a lot. That is my take home for those who have jumped the queue and started judging. But of course, I am not taking an offense for that. But I'm just saying, for Central Division to be a better place, being judgmental is very wrong. You always ask first, why has this happened? Then you can get the explanation than getting yourself off and then you find yourself in an awkward place. I would want to pick a few things to show, to try to demonstrate for you why it is non-tribal. One of the things on our manifesto is about the land question. For the longest time, our people of Central Division have been told to apply for leasehold because we were in the city. Is it the Aringa who own land here in the city? It's not. But this is what we are preaching in the manifesto. And then you tell me Haddad is tribal. Huh? No. The information we give about land affects each and everyone. Affects a Terego, affects a Aringa, affects a Naivu. As long as you have land in the Central Division, you are affected. Because most of our people are applying for lease. And yet this is land they bought with their own money. This is land belonging customarily to the Aivu. This is land belonging to you yourself. Or your father left it to you. Or you inherited. But now they are telling you, that is it. And we are preaching against it. We all know very well that a member of parliament or a leader is supposed to organize community barazas or sensitization twice a year for his people to explain to these people that what is the way forward as far as land is concerned. This for the last 10 years has not been done in the Central Division. That's why people are now running for lease. You find those in Logara, Mamangu lease. But what is lease? People don't know. That's why we are coming up to explain this. Now you tell me this is tribal? No, it is not. We are talking about entrepreneurship for job creation for the youth. Youth cuts across tribes. It is not an Aringa affair. It is a Central Division affair. How do we get these youth to develop the mentality of workmanship, to be ready to work? How do we link these youth to factories, to act as agents as opposed to having alleged investors? Alleged investors who sell saucepan up to the door of our sisters, of our women, of our brothers, and so on. Which work should have been done by the youth? How do we improve the youth life? Talk about young entrepreneurs. We have youth who have gotten some money, they are starting businesses. We are talking about influencing policies to ensure that Uganda, Western Nile or Central Division in particular gets tax holidays, gets tax waivers, gets bailouts. Young youth who start their businesses, you find these businesses are being taxed. Talk about trading license, talk about pay as you earn, filing returns, this, that. By the time the business reaches its birthday the next year, it is already collapsed. We're expecting our leaders to rise up to the occasion and make this voice in the floor of parliament. That is with youth. Come to our businesses that have been here helping the people of Central Division. Talk about Nile Coach Bus Company. Talk about Gaga Bus Company. Talk about KKT. These are buses that have been helping us. Right now, things have come up. Those days, we would go to the Nile Coach, we would go to the Gaga. They'll write for you a cheat. Because now Muse has paid the tuition, he's saying there's no more you can get. They write for you a cheat, allow this person to at least reach the Bombo. You are now going to the university. That's how we benefited. Some of these were with the insurgencies destroyed. But you see MPs standing in the floor of parliament asking for bailouts. We saw how Bitature, in good faith, how Bitature used the MPs to get bailout from government. How Sudiri used the MPs to get bailout. What stops our leaders here to ask for bailout for our businesses here? Because these buses help us. These are things we want to talk about. But if you look at these buses, none of them is owned by an Aringa. No, it's not. Talk about special interest groups. the elders. Policy saying elders must be able to benefit. But in Arua, there are no elders. Why? Because they want about 80 years old. We already know in Uganda the life expectancy is 60. Maybe the other question would be, are they paying money? Are they paying the 50,000 to the dead people there? But even when you move around, you see the elders. There is money for youth, money for women, this, money for that. These monies don't reach. There are people up to now, they're still complaining about PDM. They haven't got the money. If you're about to get, they tell you first bring some money, then we'll give you yours. These are poor people. We are poor in Central Division, and therefore we need that effective representation. But this effective representation can only come when the leaders have interested themselves into meeting these particular groups. And that is what we are doing systematically. I don't know what happened to our leaders. The other time I met a group of elders in Jacinto Cell. They were crying. They were not getting their money, but they have a leader. And you see, that is the problem, because our people who want to contest don't interest themselves to understand those unique features every special interest group needs, every association needs, every cultural institution needs. We expected our leaders to promote Lugbarakari. They kept quiet over it. And that is one of the things we are going to do. Talk about Lugbarakari anywhere. Yes. But that does not mean that now you want, if you're not a Lugbar, then you're out. No. We have to promote our own people. We are the only brothers and sisters we have in Central Division. So if we don't promote one another, but the question still comes back, how do you promote one another when you don't understand what is that specific need that particular society wants, that particular cultural setting wants, that particular association wants, that particular council circle wants? So all we are doing is to meet these people, to understand their unique specifications, consolidate them, so that by the time we stand in the flow of parliament, we are speaking from point of knowledge. In parliament there, you don't go and speak in rumors. You don't. Until you interest yourself in the problems of the people. And when we say the people, the common man, let us first forget about this thing of, I have the numbers, I have the people, I have... No, go to the people and ask them. That's why even doctors, you see, English says that a problem well understood is half solved. I want to assure people of Central Division, the problems of Central Division, I have understood them very well, because I have met the associations, I have met the circles, I have met the cultural groups. I'm still continuing to meet these cultures. So I'm going to give the best solution for our problems in Central Division. And I would beseech and ask you humbly to vote for Haddad Salim, because I have understood the problems. Others have not done this. Now they are scared that I've done it. So please, let us do our homework very well, so that we don't do blame games. I see this as kicks of a dying horse. So please, let us go slow, ask the why question, and ensure that we have the best solution to the problems of Central Division. And if there are questions, I will take them, though I have my chairman here.
Maybe before we go to him,
yes.
You have been from that background of opposition, and why police were called to come and stop that meeting was because of your presence. So what could be...
I think that is just a fabricated reason. These guys are scared that Haddad Salim is going to win. So they are very, very scared. But I'm telling them, please don't be scared. In politics, there is losing and winning. There's only one seat. That you must have it in the back of your mind. And I'm convinced with the people I've met, the reception I've gotten from these associations, these cultural settings, these cultures, I'm going to take that seat myself. So please, just cool, start making your mind to that level.
Are you independent? NRM leaning or no leaning? People would like to understand, because last time you contested no ticket.
Yeah, this time I am independent. Yes, I am independent because... by the way, I hope it would be a topic for another day, but I want to give you a hint. For the last 120 years, West Nile does not have a political party. So I want to assure you, me and my team, we have started registering a political party, which, God willingly, by next year, we'll have it gazetted. And once we do that, we are saying we're looking at the bigger picture. we should start thinking about managing Uganda members. These small things here really will not help us. That is the plan, and that's why I've come independent, because you can't, the law says you can't be in two political parties at the same time. So as we are promoting the other one, you cannot be in another. That's why I've come independent. But we're moving forward. And one thing I'd forgotten about was that one of our campaign tags of Lamuka, we got it from the Congolese community. They listened to our manifesto. They said, actually, hey, so you mean in the city we can even get freehold? You've woken us up. Please let us put there Lamuka. That's why we have put Lamuka. We got it from there. But had we not gone to meet them, we would not know this, that we must have this catchy word. So our hashtag is Lamuka, wake up. Let us wake up, because land is the only thing we have in the Central Division. By the moment we have our freeholds, we can now start leasehold. Because leasehold in English, in ordinary English, leasehold is a legally. If it is translated in ordinary English, it is rent. So let our people of Central Division first have their freehold, and then if government wants, if somebody who has money wants, if an investor now wants, let the investor come to them and rent the land. And when you're renting the land in a city, and members, viewers, you'll also agree with me, in a city when somebody is renting your land, one of the terms is to construct a permanent house, a flat for that matter, based on the city planning. You'll have constructed land, you'll have constructed a flat in your land without putting a penny, and you're getting money every month. And you know the legal principle is that whatever is affixed to land, plus the land, belongs to the owner of the land. Quid planata solo cedit. Simple like that. Meaning we will have household income improvement generated from there. You build on this land, you rent it for 10 years or 15 years or 20 years. After the lapse of the 20 years, the landlord, who is now the common Central Division person, will say, I'm not interested in renewing. You already have yourself. This person will have to leave your land with the flat he has constructed for you. Now, these are things the leaders must tell our people. But instead, our leaders have chosen to talk about money from their pocket that they're going to give you, 2,000, 5,000, what, and they want your conviction on that. And it is disheartening that if we are leaders truly, let us take our people to the lake, give them the hook, show them how to fix the bait, how do you shove into the water so that they get the fish, they go and eat in their home. And that is what Lamuka campaign is coming for. We want to tell the people of Arua how to make money. And how can they make money successful? It is their land. That's why land is the first problem. The first enemy of Central Division, I want to declare, is land. Because the moment we iron out this enemy issue, this issue of leasehold, people have their freeholds, you will have money, you will pay tuition, you will go to hospitals you want, you will be good. So that is why we have come independent, and we are telling members that the Electoral Commission has not declared open campaigns, but on come 10th we shall start open campaigns. We shall bring this message of what is leasehold, what is freehold, what is customary, how do you get it, how do you convert it, all of that. It is packaged in our manifesto. How are the youth going to better their life is packaged there. The special interest groups. By the way, another funny group that people don't care about. Leaders don't care. Nobody is talking about it. They tell us youthful age starts from 18 to 35. Not so? Then if you read policies by the government, elderly begins at 55 years old. But where is the affirmative action for people of 36 years to 44? Where is it? Because we have for women, children, youth, this. So somebody is 36, is not an elder, is not a youth. Where does this person belong? Nowhere. These are things we want to put. But you can't say this kind of special interest group, it is only the Aringa who are in that age. No, you can't say that. So please, ladies and gentlemen and listeners, that Salim is non-tribal. We are giving people ideas regardless of your tribe, of your sex, of your race, of your color, of people must benefit, people must develop. There is one thing called in Lugwara, there is a policy we have developed called constructive Indra, where you have to put everyone near you to be better, so that when they are coming to borrow from you, they borrow half instead of borrowing 100%. Support your colleagues. That's why we are saying, let us support the families to secure their land. This thing of poverty, we are kicking it out of Arua if we go this line. And the line is Haddad Salim. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Chairman.
So, Chairman, being as the campaign chairman for Mr. Haddad Salim, your candidate has been smeared with these allegations of tribal and so on. So what can be your comment in regards to that? Knowing the fact that you're someone from Terego district, but heading his campaign here in Central Division.
You see, when I
You can maybe start introduction.
yeah, I'm Apeku Julius, of course, somebody from Terego. My father is from Terego, my mother from Terego, grandparents from Terego, everyone around me from Terego. But I don't want to really dwell so much on the tribal agenda that my being a Teregian justifying that my candidate is non-tribal and all that stuff. But I really want to look at the political dynamics and the route to achieving whatever political interest we have for the purposes of leadership that we are interesting ourselves in. You see, at this stage, we are doing consultations as mandated by the Electoral Commission at this stage to do. We're not doing open campaigns. And how do we do these consultations? We do these consultations by trying to reach out to any organized entity, any organized group. These organized groups could be circle groups. This could be people who belong to a particular cell in the setup of a city. This could be particular people who identify as an entity within a ward in a city. This could be a religious group, persons who identify to a certain deity or a certain set of belief, who are organized. This could be a certain group of people who identify by descent, maybe ethnicity and not by tribe. So these groups are classified into various diverse mechanisms. And we look at them, we reach out to them. We have reached out to a certain group that identify themselves as the Congolese who are here. They call themselves Emunyales, they are here. We have identified us, we have reached out to groups who identify as elders. We have reached out to groups who identify as the Alur. They are around the Awendere belt and all that stuff. We have identified, we have moved out to all these groups. And we're not going to stop there. We're going to move out to the Terego groups. We're going to move out to the Madi and all that. We really want to reach out to them to see that we have the ground that already has a leap of our message. My interest is really the transformation that our message can be able to bring to a potential voter or a citizen within or who is residing within Arua City Central Division. Sometimes our message does not only stop in Arua City Central Division, it goes beyond other divisions and other districts and all that stuff. Because these are issues that are touching our people. But I feel so sad that this mechanism of trying to pass this message to people through organized groups and all that stuff tends to be termed as tribal. It really makes me feel sad. Because sometimes these are predetermined views about a particular candidate or a particular agenda. You can't say when somebody goes to consult a certain group, obviously it is becoming tribal. Was it all Aringas who were in that meeting? It was not all Aringas. It was just a small cohort of the Aringas who were in that meeting and all that stuff. But I really don't want us to focus so much on that agenda of tribalizing our consultations, particularly this particular meeting that went on here. There is an agenda that could be termed as tribal by these groups that we go out to, which is not our intention. But our intention is to reach out to these groups that identify based on certain parameters that put them together. These parameters could be religion, tribe, association, or economy, and whatever you want to call them. But these are our interests. We go to them. They have issues that can inform our manifesto. We share our manifesto with them, and they give us feedback, and that feedback helps us improve our manifesto. The slogan we got Lamuka, it was not right from the inception. We got it as we were doing consultations. So we really want to coin and reshape the idea on how we can give back to the people in terms of leadership and governance under the jurisdiction of an area member of parliament, particularly for Arua City Central Division. We are non-tribal, we are issue-based, we are issue-centered, we are looking at what is affecting people. We don't want to present ourselves as those who know all about what is affecting people. We only have a slim view of what is affecting people. But how can we broaden this view of the issues affecting people? By reaching out to them. If they are in an organized group and we want to reach out to them to understand their issues, and by way of presenting our understanding of their issues, and also them showing to us how these issues that were presented to them resonate with the very things that are affecting them, and therefore with their excitement coming out to say that I think you are the most appropriate candidate to solve our problems, will that be an issue for the candidate? Go out, speak with such beauty of intelligence to other people, to other groups. Let them rise up and say, you are our best candidate. The issues that you have presented are good. Let it be the issues that you present, not just some simple propaganda that comes in with an intention of maligning or somebody's image and all that stuff. It's not fair. It's not really fair. Go articulate your issues. Look at the problems that are affecting the people. Coin your manifesto to resonate with the issues that are affecting people. And then let it be the people to decide. You see, the Aringa community through the executive already made a preliminary decision that I think with the issues that you are presenting, we are rallying forces behind you. But this can change. This can change. It is still a pre-campaign period. It is just a tip of our methodology on solving or trying to handle issues of Arua Central City Division and all that stuff. If it were tribal, I would be rallying behind Wadri, I would be rallying behind Ubindo, I would be rallying behind Debo, I would be running behind Muzaid and all that stuff. But there is an ideological reorientation or orientation. What are the issues affecting our people? Who is best fit in terms of reasoning and worldview in relating with the people and crafting mechanisms and solutions to the issues that are affecting people? Economy, land, the society, civic space, and all that stuff. Who is best suited to do this? And all that stuff. It is on such alignment that I try to think together. And fortunately enough, I think perhaps we reason in the same line with Haddad Salim, and that is why I sacrificed myself and presented myself as a campaign chairperson for him. Simply not because I associate so much with the Aringa, I associate with the Terego and all that stuff, but I associate with the ideas and personalities. These personalities and ideas have nothing to do with dissent. And unfortunately, we want to go into that pettiness of discussing politics where it has to become tribal. And it is that kind of pettiness in discussing politics that has split Uganda apart. There's going to be a way a Westerner is seen in the space that is supposed to be well balanced, simply because we think perhaps power rests in their hands. And all that stuff. There are certain parameters that we're not looking at. And Uganda, we're going to look at it as the same way. Is that the same nature with which you want to split West Nile? Probably, if this is how the conversation is going, I want to probably say that why we are not developing so much is because we have not held hands together. We easily slide into the tribal lines, so that when we are making demands to the from the national cake, we want to make them as Aringa, we want to make them as Terego, we want to make them as Aivu. Therefore, this voice of Aringa, this voice of Aivu, this voice of Terego singularly is too small to ask for that national cake. And where does that come from? It comes from this pettiness of trying to split our rural and local politics in that space. Unless we get rid of that and rather concentrate, even if I found an imam as a Catholic. You see, Council Haddad is a Muslim. I'm a Catholic, an ex-seminarian for that matter. And if I sat and had an imam speak about the issues that are affecting us, I would sit like this, and if a bishop came and spoke about the same issues, but an imam spoke better, I would go for what the imam is saying. But that doesn't mean that I'm a Muslim. So let's really go in for the ideas that people are bringing out, and how these ideas identify with the issues that are pressing us, and how they can help us lift our heads. Sometimes these ideas that we're preaching do not need an MP to give you money, do not need government to come in. They only need you to realign how you think about certain realities. And such realignment is going to help you a great deal. Otherwise, we are not tribal, we are issue-based, and if you have those constructive ideas on how we can improve, how we can render services to the electorates, given the opportunity of leading this city as in the capacity of the division MP, we are really so welcome. We sit down in various forums to discuss ideas on how we can best solve our problems. You see, in our manifesto, we're even going down to these youth that are disgruntled, unskilled, and all that stuff. They now go deep down to start they have given it a name, Kangura, and all that stuff. We want to realign the ideology of these people to start thinking in a constructive manner so that you don't see wealth in somebody's pocket, but you see wealth in the idea and the beauty of the efforts that you can put to get your own money, legitimate money, the way you want it done. This is how we want us to start thinking. If you start going tribal, you're just going to be somebody who went to school but came with an empty box without picking anything from there. Unfortunately, some of these people who are writing these long statements on media are people who have had bachelor's degrees and all that stuff. Where is your degree? Apply it. Maybe don't like Haddad Salim, but pick something he says about land. Go to talk about people, about land. Don't vote for him, but pick his message, go and talk about land. Pick his message, go and talk about entrepreneurship. Because with employment alone, we're not going to survive. Unless we adopt to entrepreneurship, we're not going to create jobs that are enough for our youth and other people who are capable of doing jobs to increase the economy, to grow the economy, and all that stuff. That's how we're going to rise from our basic first layer needs that are promulgated by Maslow, which are security needs, to other needs. Our demand from government is going to rise beyond just petty 2,000, petty 5,000, petty food and all that stuff. We're going to demand for better services. But how can we demand for better services? Let's be issue-based, not these other sentiments like tribe, class, and all that stuff.
Okay,
Otherwise, thank you very much for this. I wanted us to clear this air, and it is as a result of these confusions that are coming that we had to send out a message to the media, telling them that no, it is not what they're thinking. We have a different agenda, and we are not going to, by the way, we're not going to be stopping with this consultation simply because there's a certain group that is trying to cluster us tribal. We're not going to make these an objective sort of personal sentiments to distract us from our agenda. We're going to reach out to many other groups. And if there are other groups that have not been mentioned in our press release, please show out. We want to reach out to you. We want our message to reach you. We want to transform the way you look at how politics should be done. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.